How can I get into real estate or learn about it as 17 years old? He in Ambition said, just watch Pascal, laugh out loud. He gives all the game. What is the best way to get into real estate? How I got into real estate, actually, I got into real estate many different ways. So I'm gonna give you all of the ways that you can get into real estate. One, the way I got into it originally, construction. And what's good about construction is you're able to not only learn how to fix these properties and what is the cost of material, why it's important to buy good quality material, how people treat their property in different neighborhoods, how property appreciates in different neighborhoods. If you're focused when you're doing construction, you can see that, but it requires you being focused. Now, you get to be paid as you learn if you focus. Now, there are some people in the construction field that just want to go to work, go home, and just spend all their money and not save it to invest in the next deal. That is your option. But this is a great way to get into the real estate market and study while being paid. 2, banking. So what is banking? Banking is lending, mortgages, working at the bank, even as a teller. I learned a lot about the area and I learned a lot about people, because the good thing about being a banker and even being a teller, which is where you start at the bank, the lowest level, is you can see how much money is in a person's checking account. You can see what they do in that account. So if you're paying attention, you'll see someone come in dressed really fancy that's broke, and you'll see people come in that are dressed very casual that have a lot of money. And you'll eventually start seeing, okay, wow, who really knows what they're talking about? Because what you guys see on IG and what you guys see on YouTube is you see these fancy people with these fancy cars and clothes, and you don't know that most of it is rented or borrowed, or they hopped over a fence to take a picture next to a private jet that they're not even planning to go anywhere because they had no place to go and they had no money to even pay for the gas on that jet. So when you see someone's bank account, you know who's real, and you can tell the difference between who's talking and who's an actual doer. And I would have the really weirdest looking people, not like just figured weird, but like weird, like quirky, dressed weird, and they had big money in their account. And I would eventually ask them, what do you do? How do you do it? How did you make money? Most of the money that was made, the people that have the big money in their bank accounts, they're real estate investors. There was some other players along, different businesses, but most are real estate investors. And I would ask them what they did and how they did it. And you can end up, again, getting paid while you learn. But it still requires you to go and dig in deeper to extract the gold. Because just because you're there, if you don't ask the right questions and you don't take notes, you're not going to succeed. I had some guys come and want to work with me, and they volunteered with me. So over the summer, they did a lot of stuff with me, and I had them just do different things. Most of the time we hung out, but they did little things here and there. And one person asked me many questions. And I knew that the person asking me many questions was going to learn, because they were asking questions. So not only when I said something, they were registering it, they had follow-up questions. So their mind's gonna expand with knowledge. Now, another person came and he was on this phone and doing different things while I was working. He didn't have any follow-up questions on, Pascal, why did you do this? Why did you make that decision? The rationale behind it. Because that is what's going to make the difference between you being successful and not being successful. the difference between you encountering the same issue and knowing how to respond to it. Because just because you encounter the same issue, it might be different reasons why you're encountering the issue. So if you don't know the rationale why a decision was made, you won't know if you should apply the same response or a different response. Follow-up questions are key. But banking is a great place where you can learn ways to get into real estate and get paid at the same time. So banking is one, and we're talking about mostly lending. Lending, right, or teller. You're gonna start at the bottom. Another great way is real estate, meaning real estate agent. Now, I'm gonna give you the similar warning with real estate agent. I know many agents that are getting into the business and they're focusing on making sales and making money. They don't actually learn real estate investing. So to be a real estate agent, which is a sales job, is different than actually being a real estate investor, right? Many people thought I was a real estate agent. I actually never held my license. I was a real estate investor. I just bought and sold many properties, but they were all for myself. So it just gave people the idea that I was an agent. Now, as a real estate agent, you can focus yourself to the agents that are producing a lot and buying properties themselves. You're gonna start seeing where they buy and why they buy. You're gonna start seeing different demographics in the sense of the different demographics of income in different areas, the different school zones, and how the school zone applies to the quality of the type of tenant that wants to live there, and how different school zones affect things. They're gonna learn a lot. Like normally, you would say bad school zone means low home prices. That's normally coincides, right? They correlate. But in certain parts of Florida, the school zone and the grade of the school could be low, but the home prices could be very high. And you wouldn't know why. Unless you're a real estate agent, you wouldn't know that most of the homeowners in that area send their kids to private school. So all of the wealthy people and all of the people that are very educated send their kids to private school. So the school zone in that area, the remaining children, they don't have all those A and B students that their parents are engineers or doctors or lawyers to help pull up those scores. They only have the lower income students in that school zone. So it pulls down the rating of the school. So by being a real estate agent, you'll be able to have insider information to what's going on in the community and the demographic. Now, a banker can do the same thing. The difference with a banker though is they're stuck with one area, where a real estate agent will normally cover a larger area, probably multiple counties, and a construction worker also would do the same thing. They'll cover multiple counties. So there's pros and cons depending on each position, right? Now, one pro is if you are a banker, and I'm gonna give you another pro for this thing, number 4, insurance agent. By being in one area, by having one office, you get to know a lot of people. And once the people know that you are a real estate investor or you would like to invest, so by you having that presence in there, there's a good chance as a banker, as a teller, as an insurance agent, that they're gonna go and they're gonna give you a chance to buy this property before anybody else does. Because you are that local person. And that increases your odds to get it. Because you know what? I know my local insurance agency buys properties and I want to sell my property. So let me go and try to sell it to him before getting with a real estate agent and having all these commissions paid. I might be able to make more money if I could cut out the agent. So there's a good chance, and that as a person that worked at the bank, I actually found my best property. My best property was brought to me as a banker. I was opening up this guy's checking account. I was like, hey, I just bought 2 duplexes. I'm looking to buy more. And he was a realtor. And I was just talking as I was opening up his account, And I said, hey, if you ever find anything, let me know. He said, I actually have this 7-unit property that I've listed. You should take a look at it. And I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is in downtown. This is an awesome location. I would love to buy this. I'm like 19, 20 years old. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna afford this place. And honestly, I just went there again and again, and I was like praying, because I was like, please God, show me how to do this, because I don't know how to do this deal. And boom, I was shown how to make the deal happen. And my best deal, the 7-unit property, brought to me. I didn't find it. It was delivered to me as a banker. So, construction, banking, lending and teller, real estate agent, insurance agent. Now, another one that you can do, it's a little bit more difficult, but it's still within the same realm. Number 5 is title insurance agent. So as a title insurance agent, you could be stuck in the back room where you're not talking to a lot of people and you're doing a lot of processing. But you can also be in the front where you do get to see a lot of different insurance, real estate agents. You can talk to a lot of different mortgage brokers. You can talk to a lot of different people buying and selling properties, and you can be able to pick their brain and understand how the market's going and what's happening. And you can ask these people, hey, where's the best place to buy right now? Where's the best market to be in? And they'll tell you this market or that market is the best market to be in. And you're gonna get great data, great information by seeing so many transactions if you ask great questions. And now, let me give you a tip. Sometimes when I was younger, and still today, I will be around people. Like today, I just had dinner with my one attorney, which is like one of the top insurance litigators, and I was sitting with my other attorney, which is one of my top litigators against mortgage companies. So picking their brain is amazing. So what happens is when you want to pick someone's brain, sometimes you ask too many questions and it can really get annoying. So ask the questions to someone to a certain point. Give them some space when you feel like, all right, I'm asking too many questions. Then what you do is you come back to another real estate investor regarding the same topic. You take the data that one investor that you know does a lot of volume, so he knows what he's talking about. You bring it to them and you state it to them as it's part of your opinion and part of your learning process. You're like, oh, so-and-so, I heard this is a really good market, and this is a really good, and this is the good streets in this area, and what do you think about that? Now, that person that also should be a successful investor and knows what he's talking about will normally agree with that information. Again, as long as investor A you were talking to is a successful investor, and you're talking to investor B, which is also an intelligent investor, they both will normally have similar thought processes. They're not going to be 100%. They're going to be similar. So then investor B will agree with a certain section and then give you his opinion on a part of it, and he'll give you his twist on it. Now you're seeing two perspectives of the same thing. Now your understanding has been expanded, not just from one angle, but from another angle as well. And why that's good is because if something goes sideways, what's good for you is you can pivot and be able to take it either way. So your knowledge is going to be very strong by constantly collecting this data. So that is a tip on how I would be able to extract more information out of someone without seeming too annoying. Now again, the other thing is, when you're doing these jobs, many of these people that you're working with that are successful and that know a lot, it's hard to even sit down to get information from them. But they come to you because they need something done and their time is valuable. So if you can help them accomplish these things quickly, efficiently, effectively, maybe even at a reduced cost, you now earned part of their time. And in exchange, normally, when you are working with someone that is competent, a successful investor is very appreciative of that. So normally, if you ask them for their advice or their opinion or a couple of moments of their time, they will want to help you because they can be like, wow, this is a competent person that helped me get this done. I'm glad I got finished with this frustrating thing that I had on my to-do list. So that's another way where you can earn time to have people help you. So also, this is another point, just side note of this is that if you are trying to get someone to help you and you do one of these things here and you want to get their advice, don't come and offer to do something at a premium market price, right? You're gonna charge them a lot of money to do something and you want their business and you also want to learn from them. So you don't know what you're doing, you're slow at it, and you want them to spend their time. They're not gonna spend their time. They're gonna pay a market rate for someone that's fast just so they can save time. So you have to remember, when you're offering something, remember, if you're slow or you're new or you're inexperienced, even if you do this for them, because of how slow you're gonna take or how inefficient you are, you're gonna have to also give them a good price. Because like someone said, hey, I wanna work with you. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, I do construction. And I'm like, okay, I want to come work with you and I want $18 an hour. And I'm like, all right, well, from what it sounds like, you're not even that good. So you want to work for me so you could pick my brain, and you want me to pay you $18 an hour to pick my brain. That doesn't sound like, something that I want to sign up for. I'll pay $18 an hour for someone that knows what they're doing, that's fast and effective and efficient, and along the way, I'll answer some questions. But really what should happen is you see me do something, you ask follow-up questions to why I'm making this decision so you could do your job better, and along the way you learned, you got free knowledge. So, ways to get into real estate. These are some 5 simple career choices you can make to get into insurance, get into real estate. And the last one, actually, number 6, is accounting. Accounting, tax, and so on. As an accountant, as a tax preparer, you see a lot of people's tax returns. You get to see how their businesses function, how their money is spent, and you get to ask. If you ask the right questions, you can get some really good answers and be able to learn on how money works, how businesses work, and how intelligent investors work. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, smash the like button. I appreciate all the love. Thank you guys. Financial advisor. Yep, financial advisor. Yep, that is a good way. Hello.
Oh, I apologize. Did I just sign up for this?
You did. You asked to go live.
Oops. I'm sorry.
No problem.
No, but I will say that to go live, I just financial advisor, number 7 on your list.
Yes, I agree with you. Financial advisor is definitely a great way to get into the business and learn.
Yeah, definitely. So I started as a banker, worked my way up through the channel, and that's a banker, like you said, it's a great way. You see their checking accounts, you see like their patterns, lot to learn from that. So yeah. Anyway, I apologize. I accidentally hit the button.
It's all good. If you ever have any questions,
right.
Feel free to ask.
Thanks. Take care. Bye.
Bye. All right, number 7, financial advisor. And these are off the top of my head, guys. If I forgot anything, feel free to shoot it in the messages so I can put it in there.